But the surprise, I think, for everyone is that Liz Truss seems to be the star of the show. She's upstaging everyone. Joining me now, Senior Political Advisor James Robinson, live in Manchester at the conference. James, a very good morning to you.
Morning, how are you?
Yeah, very well indeed. Thanks very much indeed for joining us. I mean, you've been a former newspaper man, you've advised many politicians in their time. What do you see? What's your sense of what you're seeing at the moment up there? It seems from this side of the HS2 line, it seems to be kind of rather fractious, rather strange. And for Liz Truss to emerge as the sort of star of the show is probably the most surprising thing yet.
Well, I'll tell you who's had a good Tory Party Conference, Mike, and that's Keir Starmer. Because you're right, they're all jockeying for position, they've all got their eyes on who's going to be the next leader of the Tory Party. Liz has, Priti Patel has. I was at an event on Sunday night where she effectively launched a leadership bid. She's been doing more since then. Also, Suella Braverman will be in the mix. It just shows you that how bad things have got for Sunak, that people are openly jockeying for his job as leader of the Tory Party after the next election, which is likely to take place next year. So it's been a very strange conference.
Yeah, because normally it used to be that the bogeyman at Tory Party Conference was always Boris Johnson, wasn't it? You know, before he was Prime Minister, everybody was dreading Boris showing up and having a huge sort of auditorium filled with his cheering and sort of supporters. He's not even there this time, and it kind of tells you more than anything that the Tories don't really have a figurehead. They don't really have somebody to look to say, this is our guy, this is what he wants, this is where we're going. All of that seems to have gone by the wayside.
Well, it's meant to be the Prime Minister, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he's doing a speech, obviously, tomorrow, so we'll see what he has to say. But Liz Truss does embody conservative orthodoxy on issues like tax. Obviously, she called for low taxation. She unveiled plans to dramatically decrease tax, cut taxes when she was Prime Minister briefly. That spooked the markets. We all know what happened next. But the fact that she is here and attracting huge numbers, as Boris used to do before he became Prime Minister, is hugely significant. The fact is the Tory members, don't know about the voters, but the Tory members don't like what Sunak is doing. They don't like what Jeremy Hunt's Chancellor is doing. There is a real febrile mood here, and it's rebellious, and it's being used effectively by Truss. So could we see Truss back as leader of the Tory Party in just over a year's time? No reason why not. The members elected her. They didn't elect Rishi, as Liz's people will tell you and remind you every time you speak to them. So Rishi Sunak in trouble, not really achieving much, not doing much on small boats. I mean, I won't go through the whole list of his 5 promises, but I can tell you he's running out of time to implement even one of them.
Well, you don't really need to, do you? Because, I mean, I can't even remember all 5 of them as they were. The one that sort of helped him is inflation, but that had nothing to do with him anyway. He might have helped to put it up, but he didn't really help to bring it down. The small boats, forget about it. You know, the NHS waiting list, he can blame the doctors all he wants, but, you know, that's not going anywhere. You know, and the other 2, what was it, growth or something like that? I mean, there's none of that going on. So it doesn't really matter. I mean, he also said, did he not, when he made those 5 pledges, basically, judge me by the end of the year. And if I haven't done that, then you can take your own action. So, I mean, has he written his own suicide note?
And I wouldn't. It's an invitation to his opponents in the Conservative Party to do just that. They will judge him. And I know it's unlikely, given we're only probably a year away or even less from an election, but I definitely don't think Rishi's position as Prime Minister is as secure as some people think. We've even got rumours about Boris making a comeback, as he tried to when the Truss stood down last year. So I think it's honestly, end of the year, beginning of the next year, a very difficult time for Rishi.
Yeah.
Regardless of the fact that, as you rightly point out, inflation's coming down and the economy is showing small signs of not getting any worse.
Yeah.
But I think this time next year, if there is a conference, might be an election, he's going to be is going to be, well, I think he'll still be leader, but I wouldn't guarantee it. I would not guarantee it.
No, and I'm not sure. I mean, it's a little bit like, you know, the battle of the Boers, isn't it? If you get Keir Starmer campaigning versus Rishi Sunak, I mean, nobody's really looking forward to them knocking on their door, are they? But what about the other surprising thing that's happened this week? And it's the re-emergence of Nigel Farage, who apparently has been lauding it around all sorts of kind of Liz Truss events. He was at, I'm told yesterday, a couple of high-profile sort of lunches and dinners and that kind of thing. What's he doing there? What's he up to?
Well, good question, and I think we just named some leadership contenders, but the truth is, if Nigel Farage was a Tory MP and stood for leader, he'd win by a landslide. That tells you everything you need to know about where the Tory party is right now, either in terms of lack of credible leaders or in terms of how far they've moved to the right, further to the right. I'm not saying whether that's a good or a bad thing, but Farage, I saw him briefly and chatted to him briefly on Sunday night at a Conservative Democracy organisation, I think that's right, CDO dinner. You know, that's a load of pro-Boris fans who want more democracy restored to party members and party members to have a bigger say in policy. And Nigel Farage was there. The reception he got was ridiculous. It was incredible. And the same reception he's been getting around conference, cameras following around, people posing for selfies. Yeah, I mean, Nigel, who knows what he's up to? You never know with Farage, do you? Would he start a new party? Would he try and join the Tories?
Yeah.
Doubt it. But what he is, this conference has showed, he's still got that star quality.
He has.
He's still got the ability to influence the political debate.
Yeah, I mean, I know Nigel. I like him. He's a decent guy. He's not anything as he's painted by the left. But what he is a real totem for people on the right. He's a bit like Boris Johnson. He's a personality. People like him. People warm to him. People look to him for leadership. I mean, I'd welcome his return, and it would be incredible if he did decide to take the Tory party and actually join it and become part of it. I think it would be the greatest thing that ever happened to them.
Well, stranger things have happened, that's for sure.
Absolutely right. James, let me, just before I let you go, I mean, Keir Starmer might be sitting at home thinking, I'm doing all right here because they're making a right mess. But he does have to actually step up to the plate next week. He does have to sound prime ministerial. He does have to sound much less boring. Has he got that in him?
We'll find out. Is my diplomatic answer. I think you know, the Labour Party have to be. Look, Labour. Look, it's Labour's to lose, isn't it? But I think Dave Lammy, the Shadow Foreign Secretary, was saying this week or yesterday, got to be. There is no way this is in the bag for Labour. No way. Far from it. It'll be the biggest swing, one of the biggest swings ever for them to get a majority of one. So you're right. There is any complacency has to be stamped out because Starmer and the rest of his team have got to convince the British public that although this lot, in my view, haven't made a great fist of things in the last 13 years, that his team will do a better job. I mean, they can't do much worse, to be honest. I hope you don't want me saying that. I mean, this is not. I can't think of a single achievement that the Tories have managed in the last 10 years. I mean, maybe Brexit, but
no. I mean, listen. I wish I could disagree with you. I wish I could disagree with you, but I can't really. But I mean, he could make it worse. I mean, there's a lot of people who say that as well. But listen, James, great to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed. James Robinson there, reporting in live from Tory Party Conference, where it's all a bit chaotic.